Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, Sunday Night Cultural Studies. Tonight we have a story of the great artist Archibald Motley, born in 1891 and went to the Essence in 1980. And we also have a great short story titled The Spirit Tree. Welcome to the Cultural Variety Podcast show, Coffee Talk Podcast, and I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. Peace. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Today is July 23rd. That's right. I want to give a shout out to Willie Jones, aka Chili. It's your birthday today, brother. I also want to just pay homage to myself, unless you saw last night's show, but yesterday was my birthday as well. So we got some birthdays going around in the last 24 to 48 hours here. We got birthdays going around. But first I want to say this, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you continue to support the show. And as you do know, this is Sunday. Sunday and Mondays is our alternate cultural studies night. And because our culture anyway, is so big and so broad, we talk about everything. We try to cover everything throughout the year. So we definitely give props to our doctors, our lawyers, our scholars, our authors, our poets, our people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do here on Cultural Studies Night. We also appear 3 times a week. So the other 2 nights that we appear is on Wednesday. Wednesday is our sports show. We're not like your typical sports shows. We don't really care who won or lost a game, a boxing match, a tennis match, a track meet. We don't really care. What we like to talk about is the different intricacies that goes on behind the scenes in the world of sports. And then also on Friday and Saturdays, that's our grown folks social hour. I like to have a guest come through. I like to play 10-question Q&A, or sometimes we might even just read a chapter or 2 or something like that. But we like for you to unwind. So why don't you go ahead, pour yourself some water, some wine, a smoothie, a coffee, a cappuccino, a beer, whatever it is that you do to make yourself comfortable. Come on in, kick your feet up, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. All right. So this is your first time tuning into the show. We never start our show without giving you its flavor as well as its wise words. So today's flavor here at Coffee Talk Podcast is no other than some nice, smooth Colombian coffee. Why Colombian coffee? Because Colombian coffee is made with 100% Arabica, which is the best quality of coffee. You know what I'm saying? It comes from the ideal climate that is filled with mountain terrain and high rainfall throughout the years. It also provides lots of antioxidants, helps reduce the risk of diabetes, and it helps better your blood circulation. It also helps to assist with preventing cognitive diseases, and it also flushes out your toxins. So today's flavor is no other than Colombian coffee. That's right, Colombian coffee. All right, next is our wise words. We never start the show without giving you the wise words to open up our show. So tonight it's from a brother that we made sure every Friday when his movies were coming out that we got tickets growing up, man. We went to go ahead and support his films because his films was the culture. It was hip hop. It was It was everything to us. Again, it was our culture. This brother was born March 20th, 1957, and he also attended Morehouse College. He's known for some of my favorite and some of your favorite movies as well, such as Malcolm X, Jungle Fever, Mo Better Blues, The Five Gods, and He Got Game. One of my favorite directors, Mr. Spike Lee. Spike Lee's wise words is this: power is knowing your past. I will repeat the wise words again. Power is knowing your past. These are the wise words of Spike Lee. All right. So as we move along, man, go ahead and let me know how your day is going on this beautiful evening here in the the central region of the United States. It's about 8:37 p.m. This is a good time. Your kids is getting ready to go to sleep, or you're trying to just calm them down. I would say this, and this is what makes us so dope. Go grab your kids, man. Go grab your kids, put them next to the phone, turn the phone on speaker, turn your computer on speaker, or go to your TV, turn on your YouTube, because kids like to have a visual. But go ahead and let them watch Coffee Talk Podcast tonight, because we definitely got um a good story tonight called The Spirit Tree. And that story, The Spirit Tree, it might um fit with everyone of every genre, of every age. You know what I'm saying? So definitely look forward to that story called The Spirit Tree. So go ahead. You know how our show is. We give you the flavor and we for everybody. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to talk about Archibald Motley. That's right. Archibald Motley was born October 7th, 1981. He went to the Essence January 16th, 1981. He attended the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. You might have saw some of his works, and if not, I would say go to Google or whatever, type in Archibald Motley Jr. and go to images, and you can definitely see some of his beautiful artwork. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and have our reading tonight, shall we? Archibald Motley was one of the most versatile artists of the 1920s and 30s, a man who began with exquisite, detailed portraits of African Americans and then broke into a modest style of portraying Black urban life that one art historian has called the blues aesthetic. Born in New Orleans into the Catholic elite of that city, Motley nevertheless acknowledged a pygmy ancestry and a commitment to documenting African American life. During study at the Art Institute of Chicago, Motley began the type of work that early distinguished his career: portraits of what might be called the old Negro. With this sensitive treatment of an elderly Black woman, Medina Socks, in 1923, Motley evoked an era of the Southern servant and grandmother who achieved enduring dignity by helping others. But during the late 1920s, Motley's style underwent a dramatic transformation, leaving behind the realistic portraits for modernistic, almost caricaturist studies of working class urban African Americans dancing in rent parties, howling in church, and crying and crawling the street in the chicken shack back in 1936. What these latter pictures conveyed was the energy of African American communities in rich options and color. So here's a question that I have, because I did my homework, but there was something that I didn't notice, and I want y'all to go ahead and do some homework. So I'm gonna give you the question. Go ahead and find out and come back and put it in the comments. But is Archibald John Motley the painter or artist of Good Times portrait? You remember the portrait in Good Times? Well, let us know if that's Archibald John Motley. You go ahead and leave that in the comments. And when you come back to leave your comment, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you share with your friends, your family, your kids' friends, your cousins, your uncles, your aunties, your nieces, your nephews. And also make sure that you subscribe to Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show. Well, what's up? How was y'all's day, man? Go ahead and leave a comment. On a scale of 1 through 5, 5 being an excellent day, a great day, go ahead and put a 5 in the comments. If you had a wonderful day, man, and you just going through the motions, go ahead and put a 4 in the comments. If you had an average day, it's so, but you're happy to be alive, go ahead and drop a 3. If you're having a hard day, man, and you really would like to just let somebody hear what you're going through, somebody to just be a shoulder to lean on, go ahead and leave a 2. You don't gotta leave what you're going through. I know that's personable, but if you are looking for someone to talk to, you can hit me up. Just go ahead and let me know to contact you in the chat. If you're a personal friend of mine, hit me in my personal on my personal page, the DMs, and I'll be happy to be there for you, man, because we all need to be there for one another. And if you have a 1, man, same thing, man. If you're not having a great day, man, stop, stop, stop. Make sure you talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, our next story here at Coffee Talk Podcast, our next story is a story titled The Spirit Tree. Let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? The Spirit Tree. In Africa, angels are good spirits who come to earth, appearing in any shape or form to help ease human suffering. Often, they are the spirit of a kind relative who has died, but who still wants to help loved ones left on earth. Let's go ahead and dive in. This story is titled The Spirit Tree. There was a sweet and gentle girl in Zaire whose mother had died. Her father then married a woman he thought was kind to his daughter, but he was rarely at home and so did not know how cruel the woman really was. The stepmother did not give the girl enough food, so the hungry child often sat weeping under her mother's grave. One morning, a beautiful tree had grown up from the grave. It was laden with the most delicious fruit, providing the girl with as much food as she wanted. But the wicked stepmother had the tree cut down. Once again, the girl did not have enough to eat, and again she cried upon her mother's grave. Soon she saw a fabulous pumpkin growing from the earth, which completely satisfied her hunger. A new pumpkin appeared each morning to feed her. But when her stepmother found out, she dug up the vines. Then a stream appeared with water that was fresh and nutritious. The stepmother discovered it and filled in the stream with earth. In despair, the girl went back to her mother's grave. As she wept, a hunter appeared. The girl hurriedly dried her tears so that he would not see her crying. May I make arrows from the wood of this dead tree? He politely asked her. Yes, you may, the girl replied. The good spirit of the girl's mother was in the wood. When the hunter made his arrows, her spirit was released, causing the girl and the hunter to fall in love and get married. And the mother's spirit protected them from harm for the rest of their lives. This is the spirit tree. So what do y'all think about that story, man? Isn't that crazy how if you have a parent that gets involved with another person, how the other person may have some type of uh envy or hatred towards your mother or your father because they the new people and they don't want your mother or your father loving you anymore, so they come and bring harm. They're vindictive. Have y'all ever experienced that? Have you ever had a father that took you over to a woman's house or even brought his new girlfriend into the situation and the girlfriend didn't like you? Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know. Have your mother ever got a new boyfriend or ever remarried and the new boyfriend didn't like you and tried to come in between you and your mother? I know it happens. Go ahead and leave a comment. So what y'all's thoughts on that? And also, what do you think the daughter could have done every time that her mother's spirit would deliver the pumpkins or deliver the fruit on the tree and the stepmother would come and cut it down? What do you think the daughter should have done? Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know. All right. So, one thing I like to say is this is Coffee Talk Podcast, a cultural variety podcast show. And we love to bring you great studies. We love to pay homage to our ancestors, our people, and we just love to encourage every one of you to read just a little bit every day, even if it's only a paragraph, a half a paragraph, a couple sentences. Go ahead and read. Today, statistically, they say 70% of our kids have less than an eighth grade reading level. And I'm just not talking about kids, I'm talking about adults as well. So what we want to do is we want to encourage you to strengthen your reading because what you receive from that is you get stronger in your communication skill, your vocabulary, your self-esteem starts to generate into a positive strength that could take you all around the world. So this is why here at Coffee Talk Podcast, we encourage reading here. And also, in this new world, how many times you going to see a black man that reads? This is why we dig the show. Coffee Talk Podcast. It's hip hop. It's culture. It's us. Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show. And as I go, I'm going to hit y'all with the universal peace sign. I'm just going to say, man, peace and love to y'all, man. Stay sucker free. Stay positive. Stay strategic. And most importantly, stay dangerous. Indeed, man. We out of here. Until next time. Peace.